Greetings and salutations, universe. This is Creeta, and this is Omnifactory. In the last episode, we made some Kanthal. Ooh, look at that. We can see all of our thingamabobbers. Cool. We made some Kanthal, and we should probably use that. Now, I have pre-prepared a little bit of Kanthal wire, just a little bit, so that we can make some Kanthal coil blocks. Apparently, that many. However many it is. My thinking here is that we should be able to just replace all of the coils in our base with Kanthal ones. So what do Kanthal coil blocks do? Well, they heat up to a higher temperature. We can take a look right there. This has a temperature of 2700 K, and we have a level 2 in a multi-smelter. So for the multi-smelter, I believe that just means it'll cook more items at one time. And for an electric blast furnace, we'll be able to make better ingots. So if we take a look at coil, each one of these should have a higher temperature. And to even get Nichrome, click, 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 this one requires Kanthal temperature. So it's sort of like you need to upgrade through the coils so that you can get all of what you want. And we went too far, went too far. Oh, and you might have seen that the vacuum freezer is gone, and I need to fly. So let me replace these blocks. Perfect. Now, from my understanding, oh, I was off on my calculations. Okay. That's no big deal. I even had to go make a few more. I didn't have enough wrenches to make all of the Kanthal coil blocks, you might have noticed. Now, we do now have everything upgraded. Is it pointless? Yeah, probably. Does it look nice? Yes. Are we going to upgrade all of these once again when we get to a different coil? You betcha. Do you need to? No. No, you don't. You pretty much just need one for Nichrome and a few other things. But with that being said, we could make some Nichrome. Now, a little bit of glitchy there. Let's see. Chrome. We have that. So, Nichrome, it should be pretty self-explanatory. Oh, hot. Okay, so this requires chrome and 4 nickel. I'll be able to hook that up pretty easy using a limited item filter. Now, that is going to be for the insert. And then we just have to make sure it's over here. Beautiful. Yoink. And we're going to have some chrome and some nickel. Now, from my understanding, that should just get it running. Awesome. And the electric blast furnace is now operational. Now, I do have to set this up in a very similar fashion to the Kanthal. So the Kanthal is actually outputting to this little drawer right here. And then this drawer is connected to the system pulls it out, and once it's done at the freezer, which we'll take a look at in a moment, the Kanthal comes out here. That is the way that I finalized the automation of Kanthal. It basically gets pushed into the system. This is where the system wants to put Kanthal, and then this controls using a machine controller at the bottom slot. So if we take a quick peek with a screwdriver, this spot right here, yoink, we click on that, machine controller set to 3. So even though we're not doing this based on how many hot Kanthal we have, we are basing it on how many Kanthal we have. Now, as we're talking, we are building a slight buffer of Nichrome right here, and there is also the chance that we might not be able to reach this spot with the controller. I experienced this over here. We needed a second controller. This room is just too big. So I'll probably just have to put a second controller over here. I can verify that by holding shift here. You don't see the blocks we just put in. And there we go. This time I'm even doing a slightly different design, I think. Yeah, this guy pushed over to that direction. This guy is just on the auto output. We are having our Nichrome, and it's a little dark down here because I think we just tinkered with the lamps. Now we have our cable right here, and we're just going to bring this up a little bit. Doink, 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 doink. And we put another controller right here. So it should be pretty easy just to put a fellow right there. I forgot to place the... There we go. Beautiful. And hey, there we go. The light fixed. So now our system should have access to the hot nichrome. And we should be able to also push into our system, into this compacting drawer, some nichrome. Now, of course, it will need a redstone upgrade. Boink. And all we have to do is grab one of these little hot fellas, and we're going to go over to our new space. I'm going to put that in my inventory for a moment. We're going to come over to a new room that I was working on. It's that big building back there. We have a few ways to get to it, but this is the door I've been using the most. So it is connected to our AE room, and behold, it's basically a big cubic area, and we have our vacuum freezer over there, we have our micro projector over here. Pretty much this will just be either a testing area, or we'll put some multi-blocks here if I don't know what to do with them. Now, forgive me for the darkness. Let's, is there any way we can light that up? Not at the moment. You're just gonna have to trust me right here. We have a vacuum freezer system right here, and we need to figure out how to push into it. I feel like I recall having something in here already, but I think it should be as simple as grabbing this hot nichrome and telling it to store that item. And you can also just put that in ourselves. Yeah, click it. We're going to probably be doing this with all hot ingots. Now, at some point, we might need to have more, but for right now, that looks like it should be working beautifully. If we go back to our system, there's our freezer. It seems to be working. We will go back, just teleport through all of the buildings. Yoink, we're almost there. Almost there. Oh, we're in an EBF. And there we go. We have some nichrome. Awesome. Now I do want to talk about this thing. Up here we have this very cool cage, sort of overlooking. I've been thinking of it as my, I don't know, like the foreman's office. You get to look over all the machines from inside this room. And as you can see, we actually have a whole bunch of stuff here. And if you've been paying attention, there are occasionally these bounties. And there are 12 things that the bounties can call for. So ender widgets, wooden widgets, and primitive processors. If I wanted to complete this, I would get some Omni quarters, pennies, and nickels. So we could just grab 1, 2, 3, 4, and I don't know, a stack of that. And then what was it? Ender widget. Beautiful. And I could just now take this bounty, click here, and we just earned a whole bunch of stuff. And I can shove our stuff back into the controller right here. And now we have these Omni stuff, right? I can put them away, and I can buy stuff with Omni coins if I want. Specifically, mostly ores. So if we really want ruby ore, for example, boom, there you go, Omni nickel. The nickels can also get us saplings, pennies. You can transfer what type of thing it's gonna have. I did not know that we could have sheep, all sorts of things. Ooh, can I have cows now? Oh, okay, that's cool. Anyway, yeah, this is gonna be how we get some Omni coins for a little while, but we can go a step further. I can grab like a stack of everything, and then in my experience I need a couple more stacks of that, a couple more stacks of that, and now our inventory is just full of all the things that we need to get any of these bounties. So I don't even have to look at the bounties. Click, 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 click. Put those in our inventory. You know, click, click, get some more, click, click. And now, oh, we got a new bounty, but now this chest should be empty. And that is where the axe comes into play. Whenever we break this, I have a auto placer down below, and that auto placer will just place a new bounty board. This new bounty board should have 4 more bounties for us. And then click, 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 and boom, there we go. We have more coins. Break it again, boom, 4 more bounties, that time 5. Click, 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 click. And just like that, we've probably gotten a few thousand pennies or, you know, dollars, whatever. And all of this is being auto-crafted up to a certain number in this system here. Now you'll see that we are using level emitters like before, and I have broken against the dark side, right? These are using crafting cards. The crafting cards will try and make wooden widgets and put them into our system as long as the redstone signal is not on, and it does not use stocked items when it exports. It's using this crafting card, so it's always trying to craft more to put them into the system, and then it has an auto shut off valve. So like this guy was off when we came into this room, and now it's on. We could probably simulate this if we want. We could go and grab some widgets. Probably should set up like some sort of teleporting thing. If we grab some stone widgets here, and then we go back to this room, yoink, uh-oh, we're in the basement. Oh dear. Okay, where are we? My base is very easy to get lost in, and that's half of the fun. Okay, there we go. Now, wooden widgets should be controlled by this level emitter right here, and now this interface should be crafting the widgets. If we go up here, we should see them pop up on this wall, or this one, if they're being crafted. Why aren't they? Maybe they'll pop up here. There we go. There was a widget. Perfect. How awesome is that? And now we put the stone widgets back into the system, and just like that, that level emitter is back on, and we shouldn't be auto crafting anymore. Now this system, I don't like it a whole lot. Whenever we craft something, it's only crafting one of that item, and then it stops when we get to this number. And if you use a lot of these, it can be very laggy. But for the purpose of the bounty board, I think that this is going to be okay for now, and maybe in the future we'll have another upgrade to the system, something where the items just go automatically into our inventory. Wouldn't that be cool? Player interface, booyah. And returning to the Nichrome, we can see that it's still running perfectly. It's trying to get to a redstone strength of 3, and currently this is emitting a power of 1. Once it gets to a little bit more blocks, what are you on? Are you on a 2? You're on a 3. Let's take a look at what, yeah, so 3 at apparently 1,600 Kanthal, or in this case Nichrome. This machine should turn off, and I think that's working beautifully. Now, I'm kind of regretting changing every single block to Kanthal. I think that we should probably just use the coils that whatever all of these require, all of them are. So it has the minimum requirement of Kanthal, so all of these are Kanthal, and these ones will get changed to Cooper Nickel. Well, back to Cooper Nickel. And if the next row over, because we've freed up this room once again. If this room requires like Nichrome on this wall, we'll have it be Nichrome, and that's totally fantastic. Speaking of Nichrome, once again, we're probably going to replace the ones on the electric blast furnace because there is a benefit to replacing those ones. The coil only affects temperature in an electric blast furnace, and as far as I can tell, it doesn't really support anything other than the temperature. So, yeah, that's totally great on blast furnaces. Use the minimum that you need. However, for a multi-smelter, you can see that the level and energy discounts change. So, potentially, we're going to be smelting just a whole lot more stuff by replacing these Kanthal blocks into Nichrome. And I think that is awesome. There we go. Now this thing will just go crazy. I feel that I got a little bit distracted with Nichrome, and I really should take a quick peek back into our fluid room. Mostly because there's an actual quest for it. Oh, speaking of quests, we never actually grabbed any Nichrome for ourselves. Doo-doo-doo! Yay! And I suppose I did handle the blocks. Do I need to go break one? Nah, we'll just make one. I'm sure we'll need more in the future, so just make 30, figure it out later. But for right now, I do want at least one of these blocks to put in our hands so that it can also go doo-doo-doo. Hello, do I need 8 of them? 16 of them. Okay then. Thankfully, the power of editing just allows me to wait a moment. And now, there we go. Doo-doo-doo. Perfect. Now, let's see. What does that enable us to do? We can apparently get tungsten, but I think we need EV electrolyzers. Yeah, we're not at the EV stage yet. We need to do this thing with fluids first. Whereabouts is the fluid path? I think it's right here. We need to go down this path towards epoxy, and that requires a few options. So let's just make a canola press real quick, and then explore what I actually did. Canola press, thank you. What was it? MV pistons? That looked like MV pistons. I love being able to just craft anything that we need super fast. Boom, done. All of the subcomponents were already in our possession. So we have a canola press. Now we need to have some form of oil. Now we could either use biodiesel, seed oil, fish oil, all sorts of oils. I ended up doing just normal old oil using crystallized canola seeds. These guys I used our atomic reconstructor trick for. So we can click that, boom, done. Awesome, love it. Now with that we need to make some glycerol. Glycerol, where is you? That's vinyl chloride. This is probably glycerol. If it's not apparent, I've kind of already done this ahead of time. I didn't want to do chemistry and fluids. It's just basically making a whole bunch of these chemical reactors and fluid extractors and just keeping all of the fluids right here. It's not the greatest in terms of chit-chatability and you guys getting to see the difference. It also took some time for each of these to build a little bit of a stock. But there we go. That should be glycerol. And which one of you is actually making it? I believe that it's this one, which is ethanol and seed oil. Yep, that's what I'm going with. Awesome. Diesel or biodiesel apparently also got completed there. I don't know where, but we'll figure that out later. Epichlorohydrin is probably being made up here using hydrochloric acid and glycerol. So we're just gonna look for the epichlorohydrin. There we go, beautiful. And we're gonna take this bucket, place it on this chemical reactor to represent us using it. And then we have some wood vinegar being turned into acetone, or acetic acid, maybe? Or acetone. I don't know which one. It was used here, so acetone. Cool. Why is phenol very low? Isn't this making phenol? I don't know. I'll have to look into the phenol production. But regardless, what I'm looking for is the production of epoxy. Epoxy, I believe, is in one of these. And I did end up finding it, but I don't know if it's in our system yet. For some reason, never hooked it up. So we can come on over here, and there's our epoxy, and I need to get rid of some salt water somehow. But, not sure why. I know that we have a method to get rid of it, and we'll probably just have to dump it. But salt water is also useful, so we can probably put it back into our system. I don't see why not. So let's put that on always active. It's going to pull out all of our fluid, all of our epoxy, and then we'll be able to use that to make circuits moving forward. Now, is that being controlled? It is. So let's tell this that we want like 256 buckets. That should be good. And once it pulls out everything it needs to, and apparently I need to make, I'm sure, a storage unit for it. That's no problem. Yoink. We put it in here in the cell work table. We press shift with that. It pops in here. Pull that out. and then put it in a new drive like so. Awesome. And we should have the epoxy resin flowing. Whew! Isn't that a lot easier than doing that in any other method? Now we will have to make these epoxide sheets, I believe. If I go right there, epoxide sheets, which is probably just a fluid solidifier using the epoxy resin. And this stuff then needs to get some copper foil and sulfuric acid onto it to make an epoxy circuit board. Is that what the quest is suggesting? Booyah. Apparently we didn't need a quest for the epoxy. Okay then, we're gonna get some epoxied sheets and see if we can make some fancy circuits. I don't know why, but I kind of just want to put the new machine right here. Probably should have made new rooms for each one of these things, but that's okay. Now, in case I haven't made this clear, this is actually a really cool process of how we automate all of our stuff in these apartments. We first have power behind the wall there, and once we have this tank powered, or this fluid solidifier, it can be any machine really, we're going to right click on the bottom with a wrench. That puts the output right here. If we right click there, it puts it on the right side. We can also shift right click, or just right click on the actual bottom face. And once it's on item output enabled, like auto output, anything should show up in that drawer. All right, doesn't matter what it is, it'll show up in the drawer. Now we do need some fluid conduits. Boink, boink. And under normal circumstances, we might not necessarily need a fluid filter, but for this one, we are going to use one, just like so. And we're going to call some to this fluid interface. Now there is a fluid filter on this fellow as well. For some reason it wants water. Don't know what for. Chemical reactor. We must be making salt water or something. Now in here, oh no, we're making sodium hydroxide. Cool. Now, stuff is still trying to flow into our system, which is hilarious, but we will nip that in the bud real quick. We're going to go back to here, and we're going to request the epoxy, whatever we need for that. Probably the sheet forming thingamabobber. Beautiful. We'll grab one of those. A plate. Awesome. And we're going to go back up to our room up here, just like so, and we're going to put in that and switch this to blue. Now, incoming fluids for this particular system is on blue because this guy started as water. I wanted it to be blue. Now, this guy is making epoxide sheets. So pop out these Nichrome, and there we go. Epoxide sheets are going down there, and just like that, we have the epoxied sheet, right? It's really simple. I think that's fantastic. Now, with these guys, we do have to put them through another reaction, which will probably be pretty much using the exact same system as all of these, but for some reason they won't be next to each other. That's kind of sad, but that's okay. I did forget a relatively important point, which is the redstone upgrade really needs to be on there, otherwise it'll just keep trying to produce, and we don't want that. So now it's working disabled because this has an output of 6. Probably just put the next one right here, really, because yeah, that works. And other than the sulfuric acid and needing to fix the wall, it should be operational. Item auto output, make sure it's on the bottom, beautiful, and there we go. Now it's down there. I don't know if I actually locked the drawer on the bottom, but oh no, yeah. So I already hooked this up. I gotta get in here. Hey, let me up in my room. All right, this guy just made our first, and well, 4 of them at the same time. The 4th and final tier 2 circuits. That's why we wanted the epoxy. These guys can make a whole bunch of things, specifically different types of circuits that we have not yet encountered. So there we go. Micro circuit is achieved, and all I have to do is yoink, and there we Oh, it's beautiful. It's so marvelous. Oh, it's my baby. Oh, microcircuit. Is there no quest for you? Why not? What do I need to do? I need to get the actual epoxy substrate, which is going to flow through our system, because that's what it's designed to do. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, I can get it right there. Beautiful. Doo-doo-doo. Oh, it's fantastic. Click, click. Oh, I missed it. Alright, well, I do need to actually make sure that we have that guy down there. Are you locked? I think you're locked. It's hard to tell. Fall down? Alright, definitely locked now. Fantastic. That guy. We'll have actual epoxied sheets in there, the epoxy circuit boards. But with that said, this is a new and final circuit for us. So I don't need to rely on all of our old circuits, which we've been using in the past. I don't need to make any more refined processors. We're just going to use micro circuits from now on. How cool is that? Woo! Unfortunately, that's probably going to have to be it for this episode. But we accidentally got a lot done. So that's awesome. We have some more circuits, and we're going to be able to move forward into the future, probably using these circuits to get to a new electric age. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed. This has been Creeta. Bye-bye!